Hello, welcome to Business Insights. My name is Tony Loop, and I want to talk today about macroeconomics. Really is what it would be considered. Ron Paul made a statement recently regarding it is not a right of the people to have education or healthcare, and that those are things that have to be earned. The problem I have with that is that the fundamental issue a government has to look at when in regards to the economy is how to sustain an economy in order to provide for the population. If half the population of the United States dies tomorrow, the United States can have a serious issue. If half the population of the United States was to get, for example, the Black Plague, if that came back and decimated our population, we would be in serious financial crisis. The economy of the world would change. Therefore, it is in the best interests, economically speaking, of the government to provide for health. The reason public baths were built, thousands of years ago, is because the government figured out that by providing a certain standard of care and having at least a certain level of health within the population, the economy would grow. The economy would do better. Yeah, it would grow. Again, this is all unscripted. I kind of just have to put this out there. And the part about the education is that the resources that a government has, one of the greatest resources is the population. It's a simple fact. The higher level of education that the population has means it's a better resource for the government. It is in the government's best interest to provide education to the people, so therefore the population in general will produce more, will be able to compete on a global scale. I don't want to break it down in terms of war, but look at it in terms of war. If you have an army and half of your army is sick, is malnourished, their training will not go well, and they will not become the best fighting force out there. So you take your army and put it against all the armies of the world, and you're going to lose. So, in order to have a good army, you want them healthy, you want them fed well, you want them trained right, and the only way they're going to get the right training is to be healthy. So you train them, you feed them, you keep them healthy, you educate them, you prepare them, and you push them out there. And you let them do what they've been trained to do. And what, in this context of our discussion, the army is trained to fight wars. Whether, when you talk about it on the big scale, whether it's to build a bridge in order for troops to move through, whether it's to embed themselves in the local population, the ultimate goal is to win that war. No matter what the tactics or strategy you're using is. For each tactic and for every strategy, you have to have the proper resources. The proper resources for the U.S. military will always be the soldiers. Always. You can have the greatest drones in the world, but if someone's not controlling them, if someone's not developing the strategy, then those drones are going to fail. All right? So again, it's much easier to see it on that type of a level. Now when you talk about economics and macroeconomics and the global competitiveness, nobody wants to say the United States is at war with every other country. Okay? Nobody wants to say that. But in the world of business, there is a competition. Okay? Every company competes with every other company to gain the best margin, the highest margin rates, in order to sustain and continue their business. Just like the United States wants to sustain and increase their influence around the world, to continue to provide better environments for the population. And it really just makes no sense to me, because there's this disconnect and this confusion. For example, when you look at, when the U.S. Army decides, you know what, we're gonna bring, we need 10 new drill instructors, right? Drill sergeants. We need 10 new ones. You know what they don't do? They don't find the cheapest guys out there. they don't they don't haggle with them over what's necessary to be done. They don't, question every single time these guys say, look, here's a great idea, let's, they don't, okay? And so when you look at what the government, so when the government says, look, we need a resource, and we need the best resource we can get, and we know we have this resource, which is the people, and we need to train these people in order to get out there in the battlefield, in the world of competitive business, okay? And we need to get out there and be aggressive and do the best they can. You know what we need to do? So as the government, we need to train these people the best we can in order for them to do the best they can. So when these people argue, like in Wisconsin, should teachers be paid? Teachers should be some of the highest paid people out there. I'm not saying bad teachers. If there are bad teachers, get rid of them, kick them out. Okay, there's plenty of people who've gone through school in fields that want to be teachers. Okay, I'm all for kicking out bad teachers. I'm also all for having the experts, I mean the highest level of people, and use video so that they can communicate with millions of students. And then, but you still need facilitators. All right, so maybe we need a facilitator in the classroom who earns less. But some of these teachers, these professors, these people who really know how to teach people how to learn, we need those people, and those people need to get paid, and they need to get paid well. Okay, if we agree a CEO of a company needs to be paid well, if you look at it that way, the President of the United States is the CEO, okay, of the Incorporated United States of America, all right? And inside that company, we have a workforce. And that workforce, we need to empower that workforce in order to get the job done and do the best they can for the company. All right, it's not a socialist thing, it's not a communist thing. It's just it's common sense. That's what it is. It's good business. Okay? So when all these corporations out there, everybody knows healthy workers do more. And when you have good health care, you have less sick days. There's less time off. There's more efficiency. There's more effectiveness. And again, I laugh because I don't get, and I don't even mean to get even unprofessional in this. And I almost consider this to be for a completely different video series I'm doing, which is more about politics and philosophy. But it's not. This is about the economy. Health care is not about giving an illegal immigrant health care. It is not. Education is not about the little kid down the street being able to go to college, even though he's terrible at school, okay, and his parents are poor. It's irrelevant. The big picture here, people, is that healthcare is paramount to a strong population, to an education. A healthy one is good educated, healthy, strong workforce. What that means is a good, solid economy that will continue to grow. Okay, it's very rare that you'll find entrepreneurs who are in terrible health. Okay, these people who develop companies and get out there every day and do this stuff, they're not in bad health and they're not stupid. All right, what we need today, what we need in this country today, what we need in this country tomorrow and in 10 years. I did the 5. I had to do the 10. Sorry. What has to be done is we have to start now. Invest just like you would with your 401k, your IRA, your pension fund. You invest today to get a return tomorrow. The level of return is based on the level of risk you take. You take a big risk, you get a big return. You take a little risk, you get a little return. Now, if we only want to see a 3% growth in the economy of the United States over the next 20 years, then let's just throw a couple bucks at education healthcare. Not even worried about it. You want to see a big investment? You want to see a big payoff? Put the big investment in there. Do the healthcare. Do the education. And you will get a big payoff. Okay? It's real simple here. And anybody who wants to dispute this, by all means, post the comments. I'd love to hear it. Let's discuss this. Because I think Ron Paul's, even if you want to dispute whether it's a right or not, it doesn't matter. It comes down to the basic principle of what is best for the country. Okay? Which is what is best for the general population. What is best for us. For me. It all works out. So that is Business Insights. And I'm going to discuss the rights issue actually in the other segment. And we'll talk about rights. But for Business Insights, I'm Tony Loop. Thank you.